massive evidence and blatant lies exposed by Brazile, Hillary proves she's in panic mode. After all of the bombshells that former Democratic National Committee DNC chairwoman Donna Brazile dropped last week, the presidential campaign of Hillary Clinton has responded and also gave an excuse. With the massive evidence and blatant lies being exposed by Brazile, the Clinton camp's outlandish excuse for the Brazile news proves that Hillary is in panic mode as her downfall inches closer. You don't want to miss this. According to the Clinton campaign, the Brazile news is nothing but Russian propaganda. That's right. Hillary Clinton's campaign is just baffled how Brazile could believe these lies coming straight out of the Kremlin. It is particularly troubling and puzzling that she would seemingly buy into false Russian-fueled propaganda spread by both the Russians and our opponent about our candidate's health. Read a letter published online on Saturday that was signed by former Clinton officials, including Uma Abedin, Robbie Mook, Jennifer Palmieri, and John Podesta. Brazile claimed in an op-ed on Thursday for Politico that the DNC was in an agreement that gave Hillary Clinton complete control of the Democratic Party during the 2016 presidential primaries. This coming after she agreed to pay off the millions of dollars of debt that former President Barack Obama had left them in, which should also be pointed out is money laundering and a felony. Donna came in to take over the DNC at a very difficult time, the signatories wrote with arrogance in the letter. We were grateful to her for doing so. She is a longtime friend and colleague of many of us and has been an important leader in our party, but we do not recognize the campaign she portrays in the book. The signatories including Democratic strategist Jesse Ferguson, continued in their letter on Medium. In Brazile's 288-page memoir, she said that she considered replacing Hillary Clinton with then Vice President Joe Biden, and also considered Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey. This came after cameras caught Hillary fainting before getting into her vehicle. Hillary later came out and claimed that she had pneumonia, causing the suspicious incident. We were shocked to learn the news that Donna Brazile actively considered overturning the will of the Democratic voters by attempting to replace Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine as the Democratic presidential and vice presidential nominees, said Ferguson, a former spokesperson for the Clinton campaign. Brazile's writings confirmed a lot of what we already knew. Hillary Clinton is extremely corrupt, and the entire process in the Democratic Party from the primaries until the general election was completely rigged and set up. Brazile also brought up in her memoir, scheduled to be released on Tuesday, that the Clinton campaign had the odor of failure when appealing to white working-class voters. Of course, Hillary and her goons couldn't let that go either. The butthurt continued. Clinton and campaign officials added that they were proud of the work they did in the campaign, and they're tired of people who were not part of our campaign telling the world what it was like to be on the inside of our campaign and how we feel about it via their letter. The general election loss was devastating for all of us and something we live with every day. And while frustrating that the general election vote total did not change the outcome of the election, we remain proud that Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine received nearly 3 million more votes in the general election than their opponents, said the letter. They have the gall through all that voter fraud to stand up and say this. Knowing Hillary Clinton, nobody is surprised at the fact that she's butthurt about the whole Donna Brazile situation, but the audacity of this individual to blame it on Russian propaganda is just amazing. Literally everybody that goes against Clinton is automatically a tool of the Russians. Is her panic mode so severe that's all she can come up with as her defense? This also proves even more that Hillary Clinton is a liar, and she does it blatantly and badly at that. At this point, the evidence is overwhelming that it was actually Clinton who colluded with Russia, but of course she's using a typical radical leftist tactic, trying to frame it on her enemies. Oh, and this should also be mentioned. Matt Drudge tweeted out last night, Brazile writes she was haunted by the murder of DNC Seth Rich and feared for her own life, shutting the blinds to snipers so snipers could not see her. Brazile also went on the George Stephanopoulos show this morning where she brought up Seth Rich. When you look at the latest revelation, even Seth Rich's murder being brought up, and see that Hillary Clinton's own, including the whole Democrat Party, is turning against her, you have to think it's beginning of the end for the corrupt Clinton. She's losing her power. Let's just take a brief listen to the part.
The high command of Brooklyn, the people who were making the decisions, even for the DNC, they didn't come and work with us. They told us to shut up and basically let them win the election. And when we tried to intervene, we had to spend money we raised to try to help them win. And that was my job as chair of the party.
Pretty clear you have no regrets at all right there. You just mentioned Seth Rich, who of course was killed during the campaign. Did you feel under threat?
Every day, especially when Donald Trump, when Donald Trump would go out there and tweet. You know, look, I've worked on campaigns all my adult life. I've been called some of the worst things in America. But when Donald Trump would go out there and attack me, the threats were just unbearable. My house right now I got every different kind of security device. I had to get my home swept. I had to get the DNC swept twice. It was horrible.
As you know, he's tweeting again based on your book. Just the other day, he put out the real story on collusion is in Donna B's new book, Crooked Hillary bought the DNC and then stole the Democratic primary from crazy Bernie.
Well, Donald Trump likes to distract. I mean, what Donald Trump should be focusing on right now is protecting our country from being hacked again. He should be working with Congress to ensure that the American people will feel...
As you see, she's a nut job. In other words, she twisted it to say she's fearing Trump. She's a psycho anyway. Even with an inactive Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, it's looking more and more clear that Hillary's time is coming, and very soon. Make no mistake, she knows it too. And she's right there with her minions thinking of how they can spin this. When all else fail, it's the Russians. Are we even surprised at this point? Listen, I'm not even surprised at Donna Brazile twisting it at the end. In other words, the murder of Seth Rich, what does Trump have to do with that? Tweeting what? Donald Trump's tweet on what? That she fears. Who took out Seth Rich? Who had a reason to take him out? Trump? Unreal. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.